everybody. Welcome to Motivational Mondays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. And I've got a question for you. What could you be if you could be anything you wanted to be? That's what we're going to talk about here on Motivational Mondays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. Hey, we are back. We are here on Motivational Mondays on the Plan Your Greatness channel. And we're asking the question because this week is called, What Are You Thinking Week? Because what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to talk a little bit about our mindset, like our motivation, our strategy, what are we really doing as far as putting ourselves in the best mindset to be successful. So I ask you, the question I'm asking today on Motivational Mondays is, what could you be if you could be anything than what you are right now? Now, that's a question a lot of us don't think about because we end up just kind of going through the motions, many of us, and becoming something that we look back and go, well, I didn't plan this. And so what you want to really think about is, if you didn't plan to be where you are right now, well, then what did you plan to be? Which is why I asked the question, what are you thinking? All right. Now, anytime I pose these questions, I always have in some way asked these questions of myself, whether it was during the process of writing the book or creating this content or anything. I'm usually asking these questions beforehand. So I'm asking you, or I want to share with you and let you know that I could have been anything. And let me go back a little bit and where I'm starting from. Now, I had the opportunity to play professional baseball for almost a decade. So most people will look at that and say, well, is that what you set out to be? No, not really. But there is a moment where I did say to myself that I was going to be a professional baseball player. But what I also want to share with you is that baseball was an actual default. Because if you go all the way back and look at my story, you'll see where I got put into the educational system too soon. So I was actually struggling academically, where I had to be in special ed several times. I needed tutors in math and science and reading and all those different things. But the one glue that helped me stay motivated in school was sports. And so I played all the sports. And so when you talk about, I had the speed to run baseball, I had the speed to run track, I had the speed to run cross country. I had the speed to play tennis. I had lower body strength until my body I started getting a little taller to wrestle. I could jump in basketball. I could dribble in basketball. I could catch. I had the hand-eye coordination to do all the things in all the sports. But when you look at all those things and you bring them all together, there was one thing that stuck out and it became the most pronounced skill that I had, and that was throwing a ball. Now, I know that had I stayed and played football and I had focused on being a quarterback, I was probably just ahead of my time, because what you see with these guys, Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick and everything, Colin Kaepernick, that was my skill set. I just never focused on football. But throwing a ball was the most pronounced skill that I had. So it took off as far as baseball. And not just I had it just better than everyone else. It was obvious that I had elite level ability to throw a baseball, because I know toward the end of my career, I actually got clocked at 96 miles an hour. And that was under the old technology. Now, I know from what I've heard and what I've seen with the new technology, my velocity probably would have been maybe a minimum of 2, maximum about 3 miles an hour faster than what it was clocked back then. So if I was throwing 95, 96, I was throwing in the range of 98, 99 as a left-handed pitcher. Now just think to yourself, who do you know of that could throw that hard? And I was a starter. So I had that stamina for 6, 7 innings, 8 innings that I could throw that velocity because I was in great shape. So that's where I was as far as my baseball ability. But I'm explaining to you that baseball was a default because other things were not expressed. So then I get the opportunity to play professional baseball, but understand that I was so deficient academically that I started playing professional baseball at about a 5th or 6th grade level of understanding. So then when I left the game of baseball and I got in trouble and I ended up going to getting incarcerated, I was operating at a 5th or 6th grade level. So again, let me back up a little bit. When I came out of the game of baseball and I was trying to work my way through life, I was operating at a 5th or 6th grade level. So now that spiraled me into this depression because I didn't really know what to do, didn't really know how to handle myself. And so that depression led to bad decisions. It interrupted my education. As far as me being in school, I couldn't focus. I couldn't maintain employment. I just really didn't know how to handle myself. It messed up relationships. And so that then spiraled me more into depression. I ended up being homeless and then eventually get involved in an armed robbery. Now you can see that downward spiral in my life and where I was going. So now I'm in prison. And so I'm now entering into the prison system at that same 5th or 6th grade level. But I'm looking around. And then one of the things that became obvious that I learned later on was I was having this identity crisis. And in sociology, that's called trained incapacity, where you don't see how your skill set can transfer to other parts of your life. So that goes back to the question I'm asking. What could I be if I wasn't what I am right now? Well, what was happening to me was the only thing that I saw myself being as was a professional athlete. So now here I am in prison looking around, trying to figure out, what do I do? And I said, well, you know what? Now I'm kind of going through these stages of grief, this denial, this anger, this bargaining, this depression, Then it's acceptance. And so once I got through that and I was able to dig myself out of that hole, I created a new mindset. I created a new frequency. I created a new vibration. I created an entirely new belief system. And so now that was empowering me. I was saying, whoa, look at what I can do. Look at what I can read. Look at what I can understand. What else can I do? And so at that point, I started taking college courses. I took counseling classes to really get an idea of really who I was. And so then that just transformed me into something that I never thought I could be. Somebody that I looked at and said, you know what, you're pretty smart. And so then I transferred that out of the system into being a college graduate, a business owner, motivational speaker, just things. I'm just building on things every single day. And so one of the lessons that I learned is that now here we go back again to the original question is, what could I be today if I could be anything that I wanted to be? And the answer to that question is for you. I said, I don't know, but I can tell you from my experience is you could be almost anything. Within reason. There's physical limitations to things I do. I can no longer be a professional athlete. That is a window that's for those 20 and 30-year-old individuals. And if you haven't gotten yourself started early, you can almost forget it. But as far as on an intellectual level, if I decided that I wanted to go to law school, I could go to law school. If I decided that I wanted to go and become an engineer, I can become an engineer. It would just be very difficult to do it. But if I really wanted to get through it and get a law degree or go to med school, I could do it. It just, what I'm saying? It would just be such an uphill battle, but I could do it. And I was saying this to somebody earlier today. I said, I'm absolutely unbreakable. So because I know I'm unbreakable, that means there isn't anything that I cannot accomplish that has to do with just mental toughness. I could be that. And so what I'm sharing with you is that if you are in that mindset of understanding and thinking and looking back and saying, you know what could I be? Then you are absolutely on your path to planning your greatness. All right. Your call to action today on Motivational Mondays. What I want you to do is I want you to look back at something, because it's under the theme of what could you be if you could be anything other than you are right now. I want you to go back and look at something that you gave up, something that you dropped the ball on, something within reason, with that is within your physical capabilities and your mental capacity, that you could pick back up and conquer that and add it to your resume of either skills or just things that you accomplished. I want you to really think about doing something like that and seeing what you can do today to move yourself forward in that direction. All right. Make sure you are hitting the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I go live or just when a new video is coming out. We're also on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and I also have announcements and stuff coming up on my Facebook page. And that's usually more on my personal page as opposed to the Plan Your Greatness page. I'm going to try to incorporate that in. I'm like I said, I'm in the process of building like my team. So I'm going to be probably having more of a more complete, more balanced, more diverse social media presence. And I'm going to leave you with, as I always do, plan your greatness. You know why? Yeah, because no one else will. I will see you all next Monday on the Plan Your Greatness channel here on Motivational Mondays. You guys take care.
A young boy once was all alone. No one knew